Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Today is Thursday, 7 p.m. West African time. Welcome to Business Growth with Riri. How are you all doing today? I've just got to say that in Nigeria, we have been having a heat wave. I don't know about anybody else, but I have been feeling hot. And at first I thought it was something else. I thought that, maybe it was me. So anytime I'm feeling hot, I always have to ask my husband, "Hi, Teresa, I can see you there." I always have to ask my husband, "Is it hot right now?" And he's like, "Today is hot." So, today has been a very hot day. Angie, I see you there. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to Business Growth with Riri on Instagram. And, this is a series that I started, I can't remember now, 2 months before I was interviewing people like the likes of Reggie on. But right now, I am just going into some teaching because that's what I love to do. So today I am talking glowing. I don't know if this is glowing. It's hot. But thank you very much. So I'm going on with the topic of copywriting. Last week I was talking about copywriting 101. Hello, and Kem, I see you there. Last week I was talking about copywriting 101, and I'm just going to summarize. I was saying that copywriting is writing to sell, period, okay? And then I was talking about the things that you really need to know in order to get good copy. You need to know your customers, your target audience. You need to know their deepest desires, pains, all that good stuff. And then I was also talking about using emotional words to trigger them to buy, because I'm sure a lot of you on here that are business owners, and I know just from experience that people don't just buy based on logic, do we? We see something and all sorts of emotions are going through our mind. And the more you learn to add these emotional words inside your copy, the more it can trigger people to buy. Now, some of you that are here, I'm not sure if anybody has, Angie has been to my workshop before, and Angie, you know that when I'm doing workshops, I like to get practical, don't I? If this was a live workshop now, we'd probably all be seated in a lovely room and you'd all be getting practical. I'd be teaching, but at the same time, I don't like to just teach. I like people to actually take action on the spot so that they can really get, get what I'm saying, yes. Angie, I see you say. So that's what I would do if I was in a live workshop. But, with online now, we have to get creative, don't we? So we have to find other ways to infuse, the practical so that it can be engaging. So I'm going to be giving you notes on the things that you should do. And even as I'm talking to you, if at all possible, you can be looking at watching this and still going on your computer, writing notes, just doing things, so that this is not something that I don't want to just teach just for the sake of teaching. Because if I teach you and you're all like, yeah, and I get all the likes, but people don't take action, and I haven't really done my work, have I? So when I'm teaching you, I want you to really, think to yourself, okay, at this point that Riri has said now, what can I do? What can I actually do? Or when this live finishes, what can I do with this information that can make me better at copywriting? That is my aim for this session. So one of the things that I learned a long time ago, and this is how I improve myself, and this is how my clients improve themselves, is to learn from the masters. Now, I don't know if anybody wants to say, or, it's up to you really, but who are the masters in your industry? Who are at the top of their game? In my industry, when I think about coaches at the top, I think of Anthony Robbins, I think of Jack Canfield, I think of people in my, area of coaching. These are people at the top of their game. Does anyone, want to tell me who is at the top, who are the top leaders in their own industry? And the reason I say this is that we can learn from them. Not copy them. You don't want to cut and paste, because sometimes people do that and you're not authentic when you're copying, but you can learn from them. And what I mean by learn from the masters is follow them. If you're not following the people that are at the top of your game, you're not going to get better at what you're doing. A lot of people in your industry, that are at the top of their game, they have probably spent a lot of time. Some of them have even probably have engaged creative copywriters themselves. They're not doing it, so you can learn from them. So go to their websites, go to their social media pages, see what they're writing, see what their adverts are like. That is how you learn. And I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. This was probably about 8 years ago. And, she wanted to learn from the masters, and that's what she did. She went, she researched, she read all their books and everything. And now when I look at this person's journey now, a lot of the things that the reason why she has become so good at what she's doing now is because she's learned from the masters. So thank you for joining Arts by Gisdom. Sorry, I'm not wearing, I don't wear glasses, but thanks for joining. So I'm saying that the first thing that I want all of you to do that are watching here is to identify who are the masters in your industry, who are doing really well. Are you following them on Instagram? Are you following them on Facebook? Are you, how are you learning from them? Because this is how, you get better at something. If you know that there's people out there that are doing fantastically, learn from them, learn from the masters. And that's what I was saying about a client of mine who I worked with about 8 years ago. That was her strategy. She was learning from the masters. She was going on their pages, reading their books, looking at what, they were doing. And today, boom, she's doing well. So that is the first practical tip that I want to suggest to you today. So I don't know who your leaders are. You may want to even, let me know in the chat if you can. But even if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But it's something that, you can do to improve on your copy. Learn from the masters. Okay? The next thing that I would advise you to do is in terms of copywriting, because remember last week I was talking about principles of copywriting, and today I'm getting practical. And I did say that if this was in a workshop now, we'd all be sitting around with a lot of paper and we'd be writing. So what I want you to do, after this, thank you, Gabby, I can see you there. What I want you to do to improve your skills in copywriting is to write every day. Yes, every day. And when you think of those leaders in your field, go to their pages, see what their adverts are, rewrite. And I'm not even just saying type in, because there's something about using a pen and writing down things. The subconscious mind picks up on these, and you get better and better when you physically write copy down. So every day, in order to improve your copy, I want you to be writing different versions of your copy every day. Every day, give yourself a challenge. Say to yourself, okay, for a month, I'm going to write different copy, and I'm going to see what the performance is like. I'm going to see if it's going to, ignite sales. But you need to practice every day. There's a saying, practice. Hi, Obi. I see you there. It says practice makes perfect, doesn't it? And it's the same for copywriting. If you want to get better at copying, copywriting, then you have to practice every day. Does this make sense? I'm giving you practical, advice now. If we were in a workshop, I do workshops, we'd be sitting there and all of you would be writing different versions of your copy, and you'd be swapping it around in the class, and people would be giving feedback to say, oh yes, I understand this, I get this, I don't get this. That is what you do. And since this is not a live class, what you can do is write your copy. If you have business associates, if you have friends in business, that's what I do a lot of the times. I give them to my friends. Shout out to Miriam, a lot of business associates that I speak to regularly. I say to them, Chinwe, Yinka, lots of them. I say to them, please read this. Does it make sense? Do that so that you can get feedback. Because some of the times when we're writing ourselves, we lose sight of what we're saying, and it takes somebody else to actually read that copy to say, actually, Riri, what you just wrote there, it doesn't make sense to me, So that is the second thing that I want you to do. I want you to write copy every day, and if possible, use a pen and paper and write your copy. Thank you for joining, MJ. Thank you, Iffy, for joining. So what I'm teaching you right now is a practical way, because a lot of the time, I'm sure you all know, on Instagram, on Facebook, there's a lot of information, isn't there? And everybody's just listening to the information. But what I really want for you all to do is to get practical and to practice, because practice makes perfect. And copywriting is all about selling, and everything is moving into the digital space right now. I'm sure that, this lockdown it was like a reminder even that everything, the traditional marketing that we used to do, that I used to do back in the day, a lot of it is, closing down, and everything is moving to the digital space. So we all want to learn how to be better copywriters. Obviously, if you have a budget, you can pay for a copywriter, but I know that small business owners, struggle with budgets like that. So you can learn yourself. And even in future, even if you do engage, a professional copywriter, at least you will have the principles, and you will be able to know what they're supposed to be writing for you, okay? Now, another thing that is good, or practice practice to do copywriting is to read that copy out loud. You know, a lot of the times you will find a lot of writing errors or, you know, things that you haven't said properly when you read things out. Has anybody noticed that? Can I just see if that has happened to you? When you actually read it out, you read it out to yourself, it actually becomes clearer, or you can edit things when you're reading. Does that happen to anybody? Am I the only one? Let me see the interaction. Does this happen to you? I'm trying to make this is an engaging, talk right now. So I just want to say to you that if you are writing and you don't read things out, you may not be speaking to your audience properly. But when you read things out, it helps you to develop, because remember, we're talking about developing those copywriting skills. So I want you to read things out. And there are so many ways you can do that. You can, privately put yourself on a video, record yourself reading. Or, on our phones now, we have all the audios, don't we? So you can actually, record your voice, read out the copy on a voice. Oh, thank you, it makes sense, I love that, thank you, yes. So you can actually just tape your voice on audio, read it out, and then take a break for like 1 or 2 minutes, but listen back to it and think to yourself, am I really, those principles that Riri taught 2 weeks ago, have I triggered my customer? Have I used power words? Have I described their pain? Have I given them the solution? Tape it, do different things, because that saying, if you keep doing the same thing again and again and again, what happens? Nothing, the results, you still get the same result. So do something different. So this week, perhaps, say to yourself, I'm going to challenge myself. I want to write better copy, and I'm going to do these things. I'm going to write copy every day. And another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read it out loud. Because when I read it out loud, I'm going to either tape myself on audio or tape myself on a computer, but I'm going to read it out loud. And when you do that, it will help you with your copy. It will help you sort of step back from yourself and listen to what you're actually writing to the customer. I hope this is making sense. I hope this is making sense to everybody. So what I am giving you all is practical tools to help you to be better copywriters. Now, another thing that I want to let you know, and I have been guilty of this, yes, is that when you are writing copy, you have to take yourself out of the equation. And what does that mean? It means that customers, people that buy from you, you may not know this, but they don't care about you. They really don't. They don't care about you, or they don't care about me. They care about themselves. You want to write better copy, good. So they don't care about me or you. They care about themselves. Everybody that is buying anything, online, offline, the most important question that they're asking themselves, especially in 2021, is what's in it for me? That is what your customer is asking. Thank you, Kendi, for joining. So anytime you are writing copy, stop talking about yourself. Okay, there's going to be an about section where you give your biography, or what you do and all that, but that's it. Just focus on what you can do for your customers, and you'll find your sales results are different, because it's not me centered. It's clearly the customer. And even myself, when I learned this, I had to go to a lot of my copy and start removing anything that I was, putting that was saying I. It's not about I. It's not about me. It's about the customer. I hope that this is making sense. If there's anything that I want you to learn in this session, I want you to remember that copywriting and what you say is all about the customer. The customer doesn't care about how many certificates you have. The customer doesn't care about your pedigree. The customer wants results, and that is what is so important to the customer. So when you are writing copy, let it not be about you. Let it be about your customers, their deepest desires, their pains, what they're going to get. And you will see a difference in your results. Take yourself out of the equation. Does this make sense, everybody? Does it? Because if we were in a workshop right now, this is what we would be doing. You would be writing, people would give you feedback, and I would be going around the room, and if I see any I would be giving you X's. No. Take yourself out of the equation. I hope this is making sense, okay? So what as I said, I'll come on here and I'm giving you practical tools that you can use to improve your copy. Last week I was talking about principles, wasn't I? Principles of copywriting. And this week, yes, Gabby, it's all about the customer. Thank you very much. And that is a mental shift, isn't it? And once you get that mental shift and you say it's all about the customer. When you are selling things, when you are producing this copywriting, it's all about the customer. Now, one thing I will say about copywriting is that you are not an author. You are not writing, you are not, you're in, what I'm trying to say totally is what I learned when I did copy. Oh, fantastic, Kenda, that's great. So we're on the same page, But what I'm also saying about copy is that you don't need to be a fantastic writer. Remember, the purpose of copywriting is to what? Sell, 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 sell. So don't spend so much time, making sure that the grammar is right and everything. You can go to Grammarly. Remember I told you about that tool last week. You can do all your copy, put it in Grammarly, get Grammarly to check your typos, your errors and everything. And they've even got a paid version where you can actually pay for that. But what I'm saying to you, that when you are selling, it's not really about the art of writing, it's about the art of selling. That is so important, okay? And then the final thing I want to say about this whole copywriting is just start, Don't think, okay, last week I listened to Riri, she was talking about principles. This week she's talking about practical. What am I going to do? Now, let me tell you something, because I train on a lot of, I do a lot of training, I do a lot of speaking, and I actually attend courses myself. And I tell you something, if you listen to things that, a lot of us trainers or speakers, coaches say, and you don't take action, nothing will happen. You will be at the same way you are today, listening to me next week saying, hey, nobody is buying from me. Just start, okay? And how do you start? Go to your website right now. Well, from the things that I've said to you, go to your website right now, or wherever, go to your social media, your Instagram, the things that you're putting out there, and think to yourself, the things that Rita has said to me, am I actually doing them? What can I change? Have I learned from the masters? Am I doing the things that the masters are doing? Am I using the language? Am I sort of following their strategy? Am I writing every day to get better at copywriting? Am I reading aloud to see if this really makes sense? Or can I even give it to a friend to get feedback? Can I talk it? Can I talk to myself and just hear myself and hear if there's any mistakes that I need to do? Can I take myself out of the copy? So it's not about me, it's about the problems and the solutions that I can do for my customers. You have to take action, because if you don't take action, don't come on here every day, every Thursday to listen to me, and then next week you say, Riri, I'm not selling. Take action. It's so important as a business owner, and I'm sure a lot of you that are joining with me tonight, we're all business owners, you're all trying to grow your business, and I'm sure that I'm not the only coach or speaker that you listen to, but the people that succeed, the students that come through my training, either the workshops or the coaching, they actually take action. If you don't take action, you're just listening to me and we're just gisting. I don't want it to just be gisting. I want you to take action and start doing these things, and you will see your copywriting improving, and you will start to see results, because that's what we're all in business for in terms of selling our products, aren't we? Practice what you learned, exactly. So that is what I wanted to come on here. As I said, it's a 20-minute engagement with you, and I want to say to you that in order to, we all know that anyway, anything that we're doing in life, practice makes perfect. And in order to practice and be better copywriters, because as long as you're selling an item, you're selling it online, you're selling it in person, wherever, you're always going to have to write either adverts, advertorial, copy, anywhere. It's something really important. And these tips I've given you today will help you. Okay? So does anybody have any questions about what I have just covered? Any questions? How did last week go? What have you done? Has anybody done anything? Thank you very much, Kenda. Has anyone done anything based on last week? Have you started to look through your copy based on the principles? Are you using power words to, engage your customers? I want you to really take action. I'm going to be coming here every Thursday, and it might sound like I'm lecturing, but I'm serious about wanting to see results. I don't want to come on here and give you fluff. This is not fluff. We are business people. This is what pays our bills, So you have to take this seriously. Go back, practical, use these practical steps and make any changes. Go to your copy. Go see the things that you're even writing on Instagram. And another thing that I will say to you, and this is probably my experience as being a marketer, one of the good things about social media is it gives you insights. I'm sure you all know that. And what you can do with those insights is that you can look at your copy, especially the ones that like paid adverts, and you can look at the ones that are generating high engagement or sales and see how you wrote them and see how you attracted your customers, because that's one thing about marketing is that you test and use the best, look at the better performing copy that you did and see what you did and how you wrote it and why it got that much engagement, as opposed to another copy that you did that didn't, So compare and contrast is so important too in terms of copywriting. So I'm not seeing any questions here. I guess I have been clear and concise about what I wanted to say today. And as always, if you have any questions, because I know what it's like with a live, sometimes, you think about something a bit later, you can always send me a DM. I'm available to answer any questions about this copywriting, for you on DM. So yes, today was Business Growth with Riri, and today was all about getting practical. And I really do want feedback. I really want to hear from you in the next few days to say, Riri, I have gone to my copy, I've changed this, I've read it aloud, I've taken myself out of the equation, I've just started, and I'm learning from the masters. Can I get an amen for that? Or a heart, should I say, So that is what I want you all to do. And, I guess that's it from me. If there's no more questions, we will continue the discussion on business growth with Riri next week. For all my resources, I've already got it on my page, but you can check me out on ririokoye.com. I have a lot of business resources there. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, and I also do one-on-one coaching. So if there's any of that interests you, do go along there and do hit me up in DM, and we can talk more about your goals and your desires. But today, amen, thank you. Today was all about getting practical and practicing your skills on copywriting, and that will help you sell better. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay. So it's very hot in Lagos. I don't know about anybody else. Have you all been feeling, I don't know what kind of heat wave, I don't know how many Lagosians are here, but today, I've lived in this country for a long time. Today was a hot day. I don't know about anybody else. It was hot. So after this session now, I'm going to go and chill on some ice water, cool myself down. It was very, very hot. If you're joining now, welcome. This is just like a 20-minute session, but you can watch the replay. The replay will be coming up shortly after this, so that you can, you can get the information that other people got. But just to summarize, because it's always good. Yes, and Kem says it's really hot. To summarize, I said, learn from the masters, write copy every day, read out loud, take yourself out of the equation, and just start. It was really hot, wasn't it, Kem? I don't know what's coming down in this country, but it was so hot today. I felt like I was in the desert. But it's all part of living in Africa, isn't it? Anyway, my beautiful people, if there are no more questions about today, I will see you all next week for another edition of Business Growth with Riri. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate the comments. I appreciate the feedback. And if you require any more information from me, send me a DM. Thank you and take care. Bye. Cool. No more questions.